Are you struggling to conceive? You have options, and at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group, we'll make sure you have the guidance and support you need. PREG is known for individualized fertility care that's unique to every patient. We take the time to provide a reassuring and empowering experience because we believe that you deserve nothing less. Let us help you on your journey to parenthood. Visit us at pregonline.com to learn more. Get the guidance and support you need at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
In the ceaseless and harrowing saga of Israel's relentless clash with Hamas, a palpable sense of apprehension loomed over the horizon as tensions on a path fraught with uncertainty seemed poised to surge to new and even more troubling heights on a fateful Saturday. The Israeli military, resolute in its mission to protect its citizens, issued a renewed and impassioned plea to the populace residing in the densely populated northern sector of the Gaza Strip. Their message was clear and urgent. Evacuate southward, they implored, to safeguard your safety. This dire warning came as a harbinger of an anticipated ground offensive, casting a foreboding shadow over the beleaguered region, which had already endured a relentless and merciless barrage of missiles for a week. The tragic chain of events had been set in motion on October 7th when Hamas militants launched a heinous terror attack on southern Israel. Their violent assault unleashed a torrent of rockets, plunging the Jewish state into a harrowing ordeal, the reverberations of which would be felt far and wide. As the harrowing toll of this protracted conflict reached a grim milestone on a somber Friday, the combined death toll exceeded a staggering 3,000 lives. Gaza, in particular, bore the brunt of the devastation as the Israel Defense Forces relentlessly bombarded the area, asserting with unyielding determination that their missiles exclusively targeted Hamas. This stern Israeli warning had prompted a mass exodus of civilians, fleeing with desperation etched across their faces, seeking refuge southward through Gaza amidst the ceaseless airstrikes and dire humanitarian conditions. By the close of that dreadful Friday, Israel's military reported that more than 1,300 lives had been claimed by Hamas's relentless attack and the ongoing rocket barrage from Gaza, with over 3,200 wounded. Tragically, among the casualties were at least 27 Americans, their lives cut short in a conflict far from their homeland. Meanwhile, in the embattled streets of Gaza, the Palestinian Health Ministry reported a staggering toll of at least 2,215 fatalities, including a heart-wrenching 724 children and over 8,714 wounded, further exacerbating the already dire humanitarian crisis. On the diplomatic front, the United States government had been working tirelessly, hand in hand with Israel and Egypt, to secure the opening of the Rafah crossing, the sole border passage not sealed off by Israel into northeastern Egypt. The purpose was clear: to facilitate the evacuation of U.S. nationals trapped within the beleaguered Palestinian territory. The State Department maintained close contact with an estimated 500-600 U.S. nationals within the enclave, advising them in somber tones to move towards Rafah if they deemed it safe. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, engaged in a whirlwind of Middle East diplomacy, emphasized the paramount importance of safeguarding the lives of civilians caught in the crossfire, both in the Gaza Strip and Israel. He had called upon all parties, with a sense of urgency and gravity in his voice, to prioritize the protection of civilian lives as Israel readied itself for the ominous specter of an impending ground offensive. Blinken's diplomatic endeavors were an attempt to avert the expansion of the Israel-Hamas conflict into a wider regional crisis, a move that would only further exacerbate the already dire humanitarian situation. As the situation continued to unfold, U.S. officials clarified their stance, emphasizing that they had not requested Israel to delay or alter its evacuation plan. Instead, their guidance underscored the imperative of prioritizing civilian safety, a message that was received with a solemn nod by the Israeli leadership as they assessed the gravity of the situation. Efforts to open the Rafah border crossing, a lifeline desperately needed by trapped civilians, saw a collaboration that transcended geopolitical boundaries. Egypt, Israel, and Qatar worked together, though the outcome remained uncertain due to the ever-shifting stance of Hamas within Gaza. The State Department continued to provide guidance to U.S. citizens in Gaza, urging them to approach the Rafah border crossing, all while acknowledging the limited notice and time frame for potential openings. In a moment that embodied hope amidst despair, the first charter flight organized by the U.S. State Department to evacuate Americans from Israel had touched down in Athens, with U.S. airlines intensifying their efforts to facilitate repatriation. In the midst of these tumultuous developments, Egypt adamantly denied allegations of closing the Rafah crossing, attributing the disruption to Israeli shelling on the Palestinian side. Calls for an escape route from Gaza, a desperate plea for freedom and safety, encountered resistance from neighboring Arab nations. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, his voice carrying the weight of regional turmoil, emphasized the importance of Palestinians remaining steadfast on their land. In Jerusalem, Israel's military maintained its demand for the northern half of Gaza's population to evacuate southward, setting a deadline that heightened the urgency and underscored the gravity of the situation. Prime Minister...
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Benjamin Netanyahu, resolute and determined, asserted that Israel's response to Hamas's rampage in southern Israel had only just begun, casting a shadow of uncertainty over the embattled region. Meanwhile, on the other side of the Atlantic, U.S. President Joe Biden underscored ongoing consultations with regional governments regarding the dire humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Palestinians, struggling under the weight of power shortages, food scarcity, and water deficits amidst relentless Israeli bombardment, found themselves caught in a nightmarish confluence of suffering. The Palestinian United Nations envoy, his voice tremulous with desperation, implored the international community to take stronger action, terming the situation a crime against humanity. In response, President Biden vowed to prioritize addressing the humanitarian crisis and securing the release of Americans held by Hamas, a promise that carried the hopes of many. In a separate and ominous incident, Israel reported striking a Hezbollah target in southern Lebanon. This action was in response to unidentified aerial objects infiltrating Israeli airspace, adding yet another layer of complexity to an already multifaceted and volatile situation. Human Rights Watch, an organization committed to upholding human dignity and justice, accused Israel of employing white phosphorus munitions in its military operations in Gaza and Lebanon, an allegation that was met with vehement denial by the Israeli military as the international community watched with growing concern. The relentless Israeli airstrikes had rendered reaching major cemeteries in Gaza a perilous endeavor, compelling mourning families to bury their loved ones in makeshift graveyards on empty lots. The act of mourning itself had become a perilous ritual, a stark reminder of the grim realities faced by the people of Gaza. On the international stage, the White House asserted that there were no indications of other actors contemplating involvement in widening the conflict, even as Saudi Arabia reportedly paused its plans to normalize ties with Israel. This pause signaled a reevaluation of foreign policy priorities, in a region already steeped in volatility and uncertainty. In a legal arena fraught with complexities and historical grievances, the International Criminal Court asserted jurisdiction over potential war crimes committed by Hamas in Israel and Israelis in the Gaza Strip, despite Israel's non-membership in the ICC. This move, with far-reaching implications, underscored the gravity of the situation and the need for accountability. Hezbollah's deputy chief, Naim Qassem, delivered a message that reverberated across the region, affirming the group's readiness to participate in the conflict and dismissing calls for neutrality. The specter of a widening regional conflict hung heavy in the air. In a scene that showcased the depth of emotions and the volatility of the situation, Jordanian riot police forcibly dispersed pro-Palestinian protesters attempting to reach a border zone with the Israeli-occupied West Bank, highlighting the global reverberations of this crisis. And amidst the chaotic backdrop of international diplomacy, there emerged a secretive figure, elusive and enigmatic, as the purported mastermind behind the recent assault, Mohammed Deif. This shadowy figure, who had eluded capture and whose influence on the ongoing conflict was profound, remained a symbol of the complexities and uncertainties that defined this relentless Israel-Hamas war. In the grand scheme of geopolitical strategies, this conflict had disrupted President Biden's dual Mideast strategy, a strategy aimed at brokering Israeli-Saudi détente and containing Iran's nuclear ambitions. As the world watched in trepidation, the future of the region hung in the balance, and the stakes had never been higher. Thank you for taking the time to delve into this in-depth exploration of the ongoing Israel-Hamas conflict. Your commitment to staying informed is paramount in a world where understanding complex geopolitical issues is of utmost importance. If you found this report informative and insightful, we encourage you to subscribe to our channel or platform to stay updated on the latest developments in global affairs. Your continued support enables us to provide you with valuable insights into the ever-evolving dynamics of our world. This special report was brought to you by Quiet Please. Thank you for listening.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.